is Victor. I'm here with a new video, this type of inspiration videos, or videos where I look things to get inspired for your miniatures and the paint jobs. And I wanted to start, we are going to see some of the places I visit during this summer, but I wanted to start with this picture here. And a part of my son, the point here is to look at the rocks. And for me, it's very interesting. This was next to the house where we were staying, and you can see how a rock can have so many colors. So we have the lichens. These are these white spots that you have seen everywhere. They go to grayish spots as well with the lichens. You have some brown parts where you have some more earthy colors, and you have almost white. So you go almost from the white to the black spectrum on the shades, right? So this is interesting, very, very inspirational, and a picture to take into account when we do rocks for our basing or for our terrain as well. There were some ground and plants on the top because this was a rock that was cut in the mountain. But it's very interesting to see that and to look at the different colors and earthy colors and white, grays and greens, because you have some moss here and there. So interesting to see that the rock is not only gray, and we have to play more with the colors and with the different colors, and depending on the environment can be more yellowish, can be more greenish, can be like that, more whitish greyish. As well here, I just wanted to show water is not always blue. Okay, so this was a river, and you can see that the water is it's very highly reflective. As you can see, in the case it's highly reflective on the angle, but have a greenish color. Okay, so I also put this to show that the colors, yeah, it's not always blue, the water. So when we are more on this was more is in France, so when you are more in a humid environment and with high amount of plants, we go more for this greenish color. So it's also interesting. I always look pictures to see how the real life water looks like. And now we go to one of the places I wanted to visit for a while, and it's the Mont Michel in France. And I wanted to put these pictures to see how fortress is. This was a fortified abbey with a small village at the bottom. Okay, so this is a big abbey on top of the, and this is when the tides go up. This is isolated from the continent. Okay, so this is why there is this bridge now that they have built recently. But normally when the tide goes up, this is isolated. So here you can see these are big walls. They look small from this distance, but these are big walls as well. Here you can see the countryside is completely flat around, a very good area for defending. So this is a closer look. Okay, so it's very interesting as well to see the different colors of the stones that you have. And as well, the color of the stone can depend a lot on how the light is coming from. Okay, so you can see from the previous was more greenish colors. Okay, and here you can see depending on the light, this was more. So this was more like aqua color. So this was, and you can see there is around was this here the tide was at the bottom, so was the lowest moment of the tide. So there is a lot of sun around, but when the tide goes up, all the sun is under the sea. Okay. So again, we can see as well, very interesting to see all this. This is from the rain and different humidity going down and big walls. So this is a very inspirational if you want to do like a diorama or something like that, how a castle or abbey, fortified city can look like. So I just wanted to go through so you can get some inspiration. We can talk about what's going on here. Let me see. Yeah, it's recording. Okay. So here we see more of the abbey. Okay, so this is how the abbey looks like. Again, look at the colors of the stones, the dark roofs. So I recommend when you want to do some terrain, really look at the real pictures so you can see how they look like. So another picture here. Okay, so again, you can see the different rocks, and I want to show you one thing. There will be different pictures. This inside of the village. I find this house very interesting. Make a cover with this type of, like if it's roof all to the bottom and a bridge. So again, the wall, you can see that is a lot of moss there. Okay, these are houses that are not abandoned, they are in use, right? But you can see moss is growing everywhere, lichens, the stone will have different colors. Again, here you can see, very good, interesting to see this, for example, this small house here, how the different stones can look like, but as well the chimney, it's one of the important places to look in this picture. Again, you have plants growing on the walls. These are quite maintained cities, so you can imagine this can happen quite often, to have some moss and plants growing on the front. This is the inside of the village. So again, I wanted to show how the houses may look like. Okay, so you can see this cream color with the red. So this was the typical houses in the Britain, how they were built, and this was bins of wood, and then the gaps were filled with some type of clay, or not clay, but and then painted on top if you were having some money to paint, right? So you can see here how they were looking like. So there was a combination of stone houses with type of yeah, no, it's not clay, but this type of houses. Again, a picture from the bottom, how a fortified wall can look like. Again, it's interesting to see. You can put banners. So all this is quite inspirational to see how it can look like, right? So just to make a look. And then what is the view from the top, right? So this is quite tall, and you can see that it's surrounded by a really flat area, clean up. You can have even trees, plants inside. Okay, so really it's good to see that the forest, the castles were not fully clean, and I guess this was happening always, right? It's not easy to maintain the forest out and the plants in an environment that is very humid, there is a lot of rain and sun, and so it's a good combination. But again, the walls, look, the rocks can have different, use for the walls can have different, stones can have different colors, but just how it looks like from the top. Okay, so really flat. All this gets flooded when the tide goes up. Okay, so you can walk here, no, it's sun, but everything gets flooded when the tide goes up. Okay, again, how a wall can look like. You can see this is where the rainwater falls, and you can see the strips. So this is also good to see. You can see the black moss and everything. Look, the roofs, they will have some greenish thing everywhere, and the rock can have different colors depending how they are exposed to the lichens and to the humidity. And then is where the sea arrives. You can see that it will be some more dark color because the sea can reach this area there. Okay, but you can as well, all the humidity and all the marks that you can have. Another picture of the same. I will go fast here. And then from the bottom, how the abbey looks imposing. I wanted to make this picture so you can see as well the different vegetation that can grow. Again, from the top to see the roofs, you can see this one very interesting here with these yellowish lichens there. This one with greenish lichens. So you can play a lot with that when you are doing when you are painting. Okay, let me see, because this goes down. Okay, it's still recording. So you can see again, look here, and all these parts. And this is what's also interesting, and I wanted to make a picture because this is what was as a track where you have a small like wagon, and then you pull it with ropes up and down. So this to move goods, okay, to put goods inside of the abbey. So it was like a like elevator or lifter, but only for load, okay, only for goods. So it was quite interesting. Of course, this is not maintained nowadays, but you can imagine this was clean, and then you have some ropes, and this is here like a wagon that you can pull from the top of. I guess you have some wheels to pull it, to help to pull it, and so on. So it's also interesting. Look here, the yellow on the stone. Look all the vegetation. Look this rock here. How many colors you have? And this is a flat rock in principle, right? But how many colors you can have there? So really look here. Larger color, ochre color. So you can see all the different, look, these stones, each stone is a different color. So really, this is very, very interesting to see how real constructions look like. So you can introduce this into your terrain, right? Again, all the darker parts combined with the yellow parts, and this is just a seal. And here we have another tower inside of, this is a cemetery. Okay, cemetery is quite modern, but as well I wanted to show the tower. And again, for your inspiration, you can put the cemetery inside of the village, right? So this is a cemetery, and this is the graveyard. And here you have this type of tower. This part of the church that is as well inside. So again, all the different tonalities on the roofs. Okay, and this is just going down. Look, the wood, you can make colors on the wood. Not always the wood is wood colors. You can make them blues. You can make them, because they were painting as well. This is just the wall. Again, look at the wall here. How many plants are going on the wall? Okay, these are plants that are going because there is a stone again, stone yellowish. Here is more yellow lichens depending on the area. Some stones are darker, some stones are lighter. So it's important. You can see the wall is full of lichens. Okay, and this is some of the pictures, some of the stuff that we have seen. And this is another city. So this is another city. This is the San Malo. Okay, as well, not far from the Mont Michel, and this city is also in the coast. Okay, and you can see the roof completely yellowish. Okay, the stone is darker as well. So this is a fortified city, and they still keep the wall all around the city. So again, San Malo, if highly recommended if you like to see this type of cities. Very recommended to visit it. It's well conserved and it's well maintained, and you can see again, you can see how the houses will look like, dark roofs, typical from France, but the wall, you can see how much colors depending on the lichens and the moss, how it's going. And I wanted to show this because this is a fortress. This is a modern fortress that is next to the city, and is again in an area that will be surrounded by water when the tide goes up. So it's really interesting to see how this is constructed, very flat. This is where, I guess, where the soldiers are sleeping. So you have here one entrance, you have a second entrance here, never a line. So always creating a corridor, a kill corridor, in case they take the first wall, you can still protect the second wall. So try to make it harder as possible. And this is more modern construction. Okay, you can see that it's all the walls have some inclination. It's really, and it's on top of a rock, so very easy to defend this type of things unless you are bombarded, right? But I mean, this is really a very nice fortress, as well a small one surrounded by water when the tide goes up. So you can get into, when the tide goes down, we walk up to here, and then when the tide goes up, this is surrounded by water. Okay, and this is how the looks like all around. So it's like an island that is not island anymore. So just, but this is interesting. Again, look, the stone. This is much modern one. I said this is a more news one. I guess it's from the maybe 18th or 19th century. And here you have the big city wall. Okay, again the tide goes up, and the waves when the tide is up are slamming here. Okay, so this is how the wall looks like. Again, if you do cities, you can see how the humidity is playing with the colors of the rocks. And this is just to show you a type of environment, right? So here I wanted to make pictures so to see how type of sea environment can look like, dark rocks combined with very light sun. Okay, and very interesting to see. So the dark rocks where the animals, most algae are growing, are much darker. The sun is more like a light color. And here we have a big tower. As I said, this is the wall of the city. Again, look the roof, how the lichens are growing. Look this tower. Okay, I think it's always interesting to see. And there is another fortress in front of the city. So this city was really hardly fortified. This city is facing UK. Okay, so this is why I guess it's also fortified, because this is it's the part of the borders of France, and it is in Britain. So this is facing, this is in the Bretagne, the French Bretagne. So this is facing UK on the other side, and it's next to Normandy. So you can imagine it's quite a strategic point. This is, I guess, is why it's so fortified, all this area. Again, more pictures. This is another fortification just in front of the city, and again in a very quiet, difficult access area. We can zoom in maybe to see how it looks like, so you can see the fortress, how it's looking like. Okay, so quite compact fortress. This is more the modern one next to the rocks, and you can see all the, you can play all this, or how these environments look like, and here I guess you can get inspiration for environments. You don't always need to go to lava, magma, something like that. These environments can be also very interesting for basing. Okay, I have a couple of pictures of that, and this is, I just wanted to show you how the city was looking like, right? So this is the big wall of the city. This is half of the wall of the city, half of the size. So here we have done half of what is facing the sea. You have a similar type of wall on at my back, but you can see, there are some places to go to the sea because they need to, but how was fortified. There is again here as a big strong point, and quite nice to see as well. And you don't need to be only, it's not only the walls, you're also using the rocks to create the protection, right? So you can see there are some rocks, and again how the dark rocks against are contrasting with the light sun. So this just to show you that it's realistic to have very dark rocks next to very white sun. So not everything has to be on the same color. So again, with some green areas, okay? So this is very interesting, and this is very inspirational for me for basing in the future. If we want to do Ethernet, you can have here a very interesting as well colors. But even if you do any type of planet that have a lot of water or sea or something like that. So and another overview, and you can see again here you have a big wall. That one is this more modern, is to do to the entrance of the port. Okay, so in very it's really nice to see this, how real cities are built in the past, and get inspiration from that. So again, a picture of the surroundings. So you can see how a beach environment, rocky. This is a rocky beach environment, right? With a lot of rocks, and it's a big combination of sand, rock, water, how many colors. You can see very white sand combined with darker sand, depending on how humid is the sand. It can be darker or lighter, combined with this very dark parts. So, and this is all what I want to share. Again, the fort is there. Okay, you can see this is the fort is there. So I hope you have find some inspiration here. I hope you have liked this one, and it was interesting for you to see all these pictures. So for me, it was really interesting to visit them, and I will highly recommend that you always have opportunity visit real structures, real buildings, or real from the past, right? The fortifications and edifications from the past, because this will show you how they were looking like, and can give you good insights when you're doing your modeling. And this can be reapplied for fantasy, but as well for 40K, where we are building a lot of this type of Gothic looking cities and so on. So this is really matching all this looking like and terrain. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this one. Please give a like if you have liked this video, share if you think other people can be interested. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.